Hey, what's going on? Tom Keenan here, coming at you today from my home garage. I know a couple guys in here wanted me to basically post up my findings of a new style of crimpers that I'm trying for the first time for insulated terminals. So I got these here. I'm going to show you them in a second, and we're going to dive in here and take a look and see if there's any difference in the crimp quality using the ratcheting crimpers that are designed for insulated terminals that a lot of us are having to use, especially in the fleet biz. All right, get to it in a second. Check it out. All right, so what you guys can see here is these are the Titans that Cliff Moore recommended that we use for the heat shrink terminals. You can see it's specifically meant for this. They do have a couple of options with this crimper. I think this is about 32 bucks on Amazon. They had an $80 or a $90 version that came with different replaceable jaws. So you could use this crimper for anything. These are my channel locks. I know a lot of you guys like Kleins. This is what I've always used. It's very similar to the Klein. I actually prefer this. It just feels better in my hand. Personal preference. It has never failed me. It has always worked great. I also keep these in my home toolbox here. These never go on the road. Set of snap-on crimpers. The style is definitely a little bit different than the channel lock. And again, I've used these very comfortably and have no problems with them. As you can tell, they're not nearly as used as my channel locks. So let's get this kit opened up here and get some crimps with these various different crimpers and see if there's any difference in the quality. All right, typical ratcheting action. Feels pretty good. I know Titan's really not like a snap-on or a Matco, but it actually feels pretty good in my hand. Pretty clear on the size differences. 1, 2, and it's the bottom one's labeled 5. So I'm assuming that's going to be your red, your blue, and then your yellow. The jaws come out very easy. So if you need to replace these or get some other dies, it's doable, which is kind of cool. I'd be kind of worried about these coming out, especially in the field, to be honest with you. They are labeled too. That's labeled A5. And the ratcheting action feels pretty good. All right, let's get some crimps here and some wire. We'll give it a whirl. All right, so we've got an assortment of crimps here. Some butt connectors, some red relay terminals, yellow butt connector, some blue ring terminals, red ring terminals, and again, a yellow 1/4 inch relay terminal. So let's start with the most common. I mean, I think that's gonna be your red butt connector. So let's take a minute here and get this crimped up. See how she feels. Okay. Definitely made a pretty good mark on the terminal. It's definitely tight. It feels good. It does not appear to have cut through the heat shrink, which is the whole point of this. So let's just say for shits and giggles here, let's use my trusty old channel lock on the other end. I find you gotta really squeeze these in order to get a good crimp. As you can see, the crimp is definitely different. Let's heat it up. Well, at a quick look, my channel locks definitely did not pierce through the insulation. However, it easily will if you use the uninsulated or the non-insulated terminal. But these Titans here, it might be hard to see in the video, these Titans here definitely impacted the heat shrink less than the channel locks did. I mean, either way, it's a pretty solid crimp. I mean, I tugged on them both before. But it looks pretty good. So let's cut this apart here and see what's going on. Yeah, you can see the crimp itself. It's pretty flat. This is from the Titan, by the way. I know it might be hard to see here, but it looks like a pretty solid crimp. Let's pop open the other side here. And this is from the channel lock. It's almost identical. I think the crimp from the Titan is definitely a little more uniform, probably because of the rectangular jaw that you see here. But either way, it looks pretty good. Let's size up some different kind of terminals here and see how they do. So this terminal in particular, we get from one of our local distributors, and it's always been a problem using the channel locks because as you go to crimp it, the heat shrink slides off the terminal. I've seen other styles of these terminals that I like better, but this is what my local guy carries, so we're kind of stuck with it unless I want to go find and you know, source it out someplace else. So I'm real curious to see how this is going to perform with this new crimper. Yeah, the crimper definitely feels a little awkward to use compared to the normal channel locks, but that's okay. If it works well, it works well. All right, here we go. Oh, man, that was hard to crimp. Definitely pinched the insulation a little bit here, but I don't think it's bad at all. It did not cut through. Let's give it the good old heat test because this is going to really tell us if the heat shrink is banged up and if it's going to separate or tear upon heating. Yeah, that looks really good. Looks really good. It's coming together nice. Give it a minute to cool down here. But yeah, this is nice because it totally did not puncture that heat shrink. I think that's going to work out real well. It's a nice tight crimp. Awesome. All right, let's do the same here with the red ring terminal. As you can see here, I think we're going to have a very similar result with this. That was way easier to crimp than the other one, by the way. Probably just the size of the terminal. Again, it's on there nice and strong. Yeah, it's nice. I like these. This is gonna work out well. Let's get some different size wire here. Let's get some 14 gauge, and we'll try crimping on this blue. All right, 14 gauge red. Let's get her on here. Okay, seated real nice. Let's move over to the second terminal and crimp away. Yeah, again, that really felt nice. It grabbed real solid, did not cut through the insulation whatsoever. Heat it up, we'll make sure that it didn't bang through in any spots. Real nice crimp here. Sweet. All right, let's get some bigger stuff and try out these yellows. Again, this kind of terminal, just like the quarter inch red one we did here, this concerns me because the heat shrink again is just, this is a regular yellow quarter inch relay terminal, and they just add a piece of heat shrink to it, and they actually shrink it so the adhesive sets up on the very beginning here. Some of the other ones I've seen are actually, this whole piece is covered in heat shrink, and I think, personally, I think that's a better solution. But again, let's give this a shot. This is 12 gauge speaker wire, so let me just pull a strip out of here real quick, and we'll crimp this piece of 12 gauge. I was hoping for a piece of 10 gauge, but that's all right. Okay. Start off with the butt. And the last one here. Yeah, that crimped really nice. I was kind of concerned that the this, since it's not 10 gauge, if it wouldn't grab tight. But honestly, that crimping jaw did a real nice job. It's on there tight. I think it's a little tough to see in there, but it's good. It's not going anywhere. Again, let's heat it up and see how the heat shrink reacts to it. Yeah, a little too much there. Yeah, it looks good. You can see that the jaw crimped very far to the left. I'm wondering if, you know, if that's the issue, or maybe if you're going to do this, if you should attempt to get the crimp a little further to the right, just to cover more surface area of the wire that's inserted. But again, it's solid. It's on there. It's not going anywhere. You know, heat shrink is good. It's the adhesive oozing out onto the wire, which is what you want. You want it to seal. So I think this is definitely a really good solution. Again, I've had issues with these in the past, even on the insulated portion where you squeeze down. It takes a ton of effort with these to crimp and get the crimp to actually seat properly. And I have damaged the insulation in the past. So I think that these Titan ratcheting crimpers here are definitely an excellent choice for this. And I think they're gonna work out really well. We're gonna kick them out in the field starting this week. We'll get some of my guys to try them out as well and see what goes from there, but I think this is gonna work out really well. So in conclusion, these crimpers here are definitely good to go. They're doing the right job. The crimps are nice, everything's coming together the proper way. So I don't think there's gonna be any issue using these in the field. At this point, I'd even go to recommend them. I will try to use them a little bit more as time prevails, as well as get my team to use them in the field, doing some temp probes, that kind of stuff, exterior work. And we'll see what happens. All right, I hope this video helps. If you guys have any questions, as always, feel free to hit me up on a DM. Have a great day.